effects that global warming is having on our planet. We also know that a large part of global warming comes from car emissions. Traditional cars, and the ones that are most often found, burn gasoline for fuel, but release chemicals into the atmosphere that are very harmful. Scientists are trying to find ways that we can still use cars, but without the harmful side effects. One of these solutions include hydrogen fuel cells. As you can see from this diagram, hydrogen fuel cells are relatively simple. An electrochemical reaction involving oxygen and hydrogen results in the production of electricity or heat and water.
So, a fuel cell is pretty much exactly the same as a battery, in as much as you have an electrolyte, which is like sulfuric acid in your car battery, and then you have one material which is giving up electrons, which is called the anode, and another material that's picking up the electrons, called the cathode. So the thing is, we don't really like slogging around sulfuric acid as a battery for something portable, and we like fuel cells to go in places that are portable. So there's this material, it's a polymer, which is I call the solid incarnation of sulfuric acid. It's called Nafion. It acts just like sulfuric acid. And what we do is we sandwich it between two electrodes, which just happen to be made out of platinum, very expensive. And on one side, we have hydrogen arriving here, which turns into protons, which then can travel through the sulfuric acid and gives up its electrons, which have to go around an external circuit, do something like make a wheel go around in your car, arrive over here, and they arrive where the oxygen is. And the oxygen, which likes to pick up electrons, because it's very electronegative, goes from O to O2 minus. That's what happens at the cathode. And when the proton comes through, which is an H+, we take two H pluses plus an O with 2 minus, put them together, and poof, we have water. That's the magic of a fuel cell. It all happens, and you didn't have to burn anything.
Scientists like Dr. Pepley are working on vehicle prototypes like this, which they hope can translate into real vehicles very soon. At the front of the vehicle, there's a canister which contains the hydrogen. It flows to the back of the vehicle where the fuel cell is. Ultimately, this process will run the engine, but it is also able to charge a battery. On a larger scale, car companies are trying to do the same thing. Toyota Motor Corporation plans to launch their sedan-type fuel cell vehicle in 2015. In the past, it was too expensive for the average person to have a fuel cell vehicle because the materials used, like platinum, are very costly. Now scientists have developed high-efficiency boost converters that increase the voltage of the power, but reduce the size of the motor and the needed platinum. What you probably don't know is that you have likely had indirect contact with a fuel cell already.
There happens to be a 5 megawatt solid oxide fuel cell system that powers the computers that drive the iCloud. So every time you take out your iPhone and download a tune from iTunes, you're actually getting it delivered to you powered by a fuel cell.
In the future, it is hoped that fuel cells can be used to power anything, from your cell phone to a city.